So, as I said, this book is of value for those who realize that they're their own worst enemy. So the first hikmah, the first one that he mentions, and the order is significant. Some modern authors have taken them and like put them in different order, but I think it's a mistake because they don't realize that the order is quite significant. It's like a path, a journey, going up steps. So the first one that he says, rahimahullah, min alamat al-i'timad al-amal, nuqsan al-raja' عند وجود الزلل. So the first one, he says, a feeling of discouragement when you slip up is a sure sign that you put your faith in your own acts, in your own deeds. This one, like I said, especially for people who don't think that their own worst enemy, it's like a big shock. It's like a shocking hikmah right at the beginning. Because what it's basically saying is you have to dispel your delusions. And the number one delusion that most religious people have, we're not talking about people who are kind of mubtala and they're tried with a lot of sins, but people who believe that they're religious or trying to be more religious, the common kind of thinking is, well, I need to do a lot of good works. I need to pray more, I need to fast more, I need to give more in charity, read more Quran and things like this, and then that's going to lead me to my potential. So Ibn Atta is not saying that that's not true, but he's saying think about this. A feeling of discouragement when you make a mistake means that you are dependent upon your deeds. So there's two things here. One, just because you think you're more religious doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. You still are. And number two, when you do make a mistake, if you feel like, oh man, I was just reading so much Quran and I was praying great and stuff like that, but then, Jimmy from the old neighborhood came over and, he had some weed with him and all is lost. If you feel that way, when it happens, then know that you're dependent upon your deeds. And you may be like, okay, so what? No, that's a bad thing, that you're dependent upon your deeds. It's a bad thing. You shouldn't be. In other words, what he's trying to tell you is, if you do slip up and you make a mistake, keep going. That thing didn't set you back in a way like all is lost, right? Because you're not supposed to be dependent upon your deeds. There's something else you're supposed to be dependent upon. What? Allah. Allah's mercy. And he's going to talk about some other hikam that come on later. I don't know if we're going to get to it, but he'll even say things more shocking to some people. Like he'll say رُبَّ مَعْصِيَةٍ أَوْرَثَتْ ذُلًّا وَافْتِقَارًا خَيْرًا مِنْ طَاعَةٍ أَوْرَثَتْ عِزًّا وَاسْتِكْبَارًا. Perhaps a sin that will lead you to be more humble and realize that you're in need of God is better for you than an act of obedience that leads you to arrogance and feeling you're better than everybody else. What? A sin is better than an act of obedience? Yes. For what? For this. For you. Because it's not the actual act itself, but it's where it leads you to. It's where it leads you to. So maybe that slip up that you made, it looks ugly, it feels awful, but maybe you're going to become more humble because of it. Right? Maybe you were beginning to think, oh, I'm all that. Right? I should be leading the prayer now. What is Amin character? Who's he? I know more Quran. I have a very beautiful voice. I went to Hajj. I'm back now. I have my white thobe and I have my white kufi. I should be in the front row and I should be leading the prayer sometimes. And then Jimmy comes over with some weed. And you're like, how deluded was I? Man, I was really I was messed up. That's a whack idea. What was I thinking that I should be the one leading the prayer? And I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And now, you realize that all that good stuff that happened to me, that's from Allah.